Welcome to the CTZN, the Cartoon Twilight Zone Network, where we discuss current affairs from an African perspective. We dissect current affairs with a mocking tone. If you like it, leave us a comment and share. If you don't like our episode, tell us why. In this maiden episode, I want to declare my love for Pfizer, one of the world's premier biopharmaceutical companies, as they tell us on their official website. We're in relentless pursuit of scientific breakthroughs and revolutionary medicines that will create a healthier world for everyone, they say. That's why Pfizer created a COVID-19 vaccine to save the world and make $37 billion in the process, the love of the world's citizens. According to The Guardian, the bumper sales prompted accusations from campaigners of pandemic profiteering. The group Global Justice Now said the annual revenue of $81 billion was more than the GDP of most countries and accused Pfizer of ripping off public health systems. Pfizer can't be this unethical. Indeed, that's why in 2009, they paid $2.3 billion as a result of the false promotion of Bextra valdecoxib tablets, Geodon capsules, Lyrica pregabalin, and Zyvox. In 2009, Pfizer faced allegations of paying kickbacks and submitting false claims to the government. The settlement money was used as follows: $1.3 billion for criminal fines and $1 billion for civil settlements for illegal drug promotions. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the company illegally promoted 4 drugs: Bextra, Geodon, an antipsychotic drug, Zyvox, an antibiotic, and Lyrica, an anti-epileptic drug, and caused false claims to be submitted to government health care programs for uses that were not medically accepted indications and therefore not covered by those programs. You see, Pfizer has good intentions for us and works to better the world. Additionally, since the American Food and Drugs Administration (FDA) reviewed and gave emergency approval for the vaccine, it's all set. No bias or influence peddling by Pfizer on the approval process, right? That's why, for example, in 2019, Elizabeth Warren, the current U.S. Senator, then vying for the U.S. presidency, called on the former FDA chief Scott Gottlieb to quit Pfizer board, saying his decision to join one of the country's leading pharmaceutical companies smacks of corruption. Scott, who was FDA commissioner, had resigned 4 months earlier, saying he wanted only to spend more time with his family, to only reappear at Pfizer a short period later. 9 out of the last 10 FDA commissioners, representing nearly 4 decades of agency leadership, have gone on to work for pharmaceutical companies. On its own, Gottlieb's 2019 move from FDA commissioner to Pfizer board member isn't necessarily a problem for the FDA. There's nothing illegal about the move, Kessler told Quartz in an interview. However, when it happens again and again, as it has for the past 38 years, it raises the specter of conflict of interest. The perception of a so-called revolving door, a chummy agreement between big drug companies and the regulators who approve their products for sale, undermines trust in the FDA. You see, in the USA, people fail to comprehend my friend Pfizer, and that's why they accuse them of preventing the appearance of bias and misleading people about their products. In 2022, the European Commission approved a 4th contract with pharmaceutical companies BioNTech and Pfizer, which provides for the initial purchase of 200 million doses on behalf of all EU member states, plus an option to request up to a further 100 million doses to be supplied once a vaccine has proven to be safe and effective against COVID-19. Member states can decide to donate the vaccine to lower and middle-income countries or to redirect it to other European countries. And recently, the European Union announced that they secured an agreement with BioNTech Pfizer to adapt delivery schedules to member states' needs. However, when Christian Terse, a member of the EU Parliament from Romania, requested information about the contract, he was handed over a document with 100 pages blanked out. You see, Pfizer, which has always worked in the best interest of the United States citizens, has a contract with the EU, which again has the best interest of its population at heart, and as a result, 100 pages were handed out to a representative of the EU citizens from with 100-page blank to protect the ignorant plebiscite. Do you get it? Allegations are that behind the redactions and blanking out, there have been some improprieties ongoing. Recently, the top ranks of the European Parliament have slammed the door shut to a public cross-examination of Commission President Ursula von der Leyen over her role in negotiating a multi-billion euro vaccine deal with Pfizer. Reuters says last month, lawmakers in the Parliament's Special Committee on COVID-19 proposed to invite von der Leyen to answer questions on the EU's largest vaccine contract, signed at the height of the pandemic. It was in the run-up to this contract that she is reported to have exchanged text messages with Pfizer's chief executive Albert Bourla. However, at a closed-door meeting Thursday of the Conference of Presidents, COP, which includes the heads of all the political groups and the parliament's president, leaders refused the request to hold a public grilling. Instead, they decided to ask von der Leyen to answer questions in private at some point in the future, watering down the invitation to almost nothing. Hence, transparency concerns over the Commission president's role in negotiations will be handled behind closed doors. That's the level of transparency in question here. The negotiations that led to the European Commission brokering the controversial COVID-19 vaccine contracts with pharmaceutical giant Pfizer remain a business secret, the chairman of Pfizer France told French senators during a hearing on Wednesday, 29 March 2023, reports Euractiv. Following the questioning of Pfizer in Brussels, where efforts to shed light on the contracts have been going on for nearly 2 years, it was the turn of the French Senate to grill Pfizer over the content of the COVID-19 vaccine contracts it signed with the European Commission at the start of the pandemic. Pfizer France head Rita Guiha was questioned by the Senate's Committee of Inquiry into Drug Shortages, chaired by Sonia de la Provote, Union centrist group, with questions put forward by Rapporteur Laurence Cohen of the Communist Party. Following revelations by the New York Times in April 2021, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla are believed to have negotiated a contract involving 1.8 billion COVID-19 doses over phone texts. Other contracts between Pfizer and the EU, while accessible to EU parliamentarians, are also being criticized for being heavily redacted. Why were the contracts that were signed with Pfizer and the European Commission not made public, especially the 1.8 billion dose contract? Cohen asked Guiha. In response, Guiha said the contracts were discussed between Pfizer's parent company and the European Commission. This part is really a business secret. This is the rule we have put in place, he said. Guiha did not reveal more to the senators as discussions continued on the price of vaccines, the management of drug shortages, and innovation. Cohen said that making the contracts more transparent would help improve public confidence because there are strong doubts, but he also praised Pfizer for a vaccine that has saved many people. The Pfizer CEO didn't attend the hearing in the EU Parliament to tackle this issue. A Pfizer representative who attended refused to answer some of the questions related to this issue, which angered some of the parliamentarians and prompted them to organize a press conference the following day, October 11, 2022, to vent their frustration. Pfizer is moving marketing their product around the world, promising that the booster for COVID-19 work. The question here is not whether the vaccine works or doesn't, but rather, why the secrecy accompanying the contract signed with government. In Europe, debates are ongoing. India has asked some tough and important questions. How about the rest of the world? In Rwanda, in July 2022, the Ministry of Health initiated the implementation of the Accord for a Healthier World agreement signed during the World Economic Forum (WEF) in Davos between the government of Rwanda and Pfizer Incorporated, an American multinational pharmaceutical and biotechnology corporation. Under the agreement, Pfizer Incorporated is committed to providing a non-profit basis its patent-protected medicines and vaccines which Rwanda obtains normally from the United States and the European Union. The implementation of this accord was marked by discussions with 100 doctors on nirmatrelvir ritonavir, Paxlovid, clinical data, indications, usage, and ensuring health equity in Rwanda. Other engagements with Pfizer Incorporated in this accord include, but are not limited to, the identification of areas for partnerships in other medical specialties, such as oncology, internal medicine, molecules used in the treatment of rare and inflammatory diseases in education, diagnostics, therapeutics and research, and establishment of a telemedicine consultation platform between Rwanda medical doctors and other experts who are using these drugs worldwide. You see, at Pfizer, we are the good guys. We are extending our generosity to the most depleted country when it comes to pharmaceuticals. And our intention, transparency, and reputation made us unquestionable partners, especially for developing countries, which don't have as strong controls, checks, and balances as US and EU, where we have managed to delusion the congresspeople and parliamentarians. If you want to continue to receive similar content, please click on subscribe. Also, I want you to do me a favor by sharing this video.